Imagine a galaxy where the trust you place in your wingman could be, well, the difference between life and death. Yet whispers of betrayal echo even within the ranks of heroes. What if the very people fighting for a new dawn couldn't actually fully trust each other?
That's really the core of Wedge's gamble to X-Wing, isn't it? It's a story packed with, amazing pilots, intense dogfights, but also that really delicate balance of loyalty. The galaxy's just struggling to find its feet.
Yeah.
And speaking of finding deeper meaning, if you're interested in exploring themes like trust, strategy, leadership, the stuff we'll get into today, you should definitely check out Mindful Moments on our YouTube channel.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it uses AI to analyze books, offers some really fascinating insights, good for reflection, critical thinking.
That sounds cool. So, okay, our mission today is to unpack this complex web of trust and suspicion within Rogue Squadron and, the wider New Republic, too.
Exactly. We'll look at the strategic gambles, the personal dilemmas these pilots are facing, trying to build something more secure.
Let's start with Wedge Antilles, then.
Yeah.
He's Commander Wedge Antilles, grappling with this really troubling idea about Pash Kraken, one of his pilots.
Right.
He's actually wrestling with the thought that Pash's father, Aaron Kraken, big name in intelligence, might have planted Pash in the squadron as an agent.
And what's so gripping there is Wedge's own head game. He's watching Pash, almost expecting some big, outraged reaction if disloyalty is even hinted at.
Yeah.
But instead, he gets... Well, he thinks he sees disappointment. And that quiet reaction, it just feeds Wedge's unease. It really highlights this fundamental problem for any team, right? You need trust, it's key. But you also know people have secrets, private lives. How do you lead when those lines get blurry?
That balance, it's really put to the test with Corran Horn and Tycho Selju. When Corran tries to access Tycho's secure file, well, you can feel the tension.
Yeah, and Tycho isn't mad exactly, but he's clearly hurt, let down that Corran didn't just ask him directly.
Right.
And this whole situation, it just shows how easily suspicion can flare up, doesn't it? Even among teammates. Corran immediately jumps to security breach just because Alliance security is around. It points to this climate where maybe trust isn't the default setting anymore. Makes you wonder what constant fighting does to relationships inside a squadron.
But then, this is where you see real loyalty come through. Faced with Corran breathing down his neck, basically.
Yeah.
Tycho decides to reveal this massive secret, his incredibly dangerous solo mission flying a captured TIE fighter straight into Coruscant.
Right into the heart of it.
Yeah, to gather vital intel on their defenses.
Yeah.
He risked capture, prison, everything. And telling Corran, under oath, you can feel his relief.
It's huge. Tycho's willingness to do that mission, it just underlines the incredible commitment these people have.
Totally.
His dedication is profound. And his disappointment with Corran, it comes from wanting that same kind of implicit trust within their own elite unit, especially after the risks he took for all of them.
And looming over all these personal doubts, this building trust, you've got the shadow of Warlord Zinj.
Zinj.
The briefings paint him as, well, highly ambitious, very cunning, a pragmatist, believes the ends justify the means in his drive to carve out his own empire from the old one's ashes.
Zinj really represents that chaotic power vacuum after the Emperor, right? He's a serious external threat.
Definitely.
And Akbar's report about Zinj trying to sniff out intel on the New Republic's hold over Pyria, which led to that scrap with Rogue Squadron, it just shows the real danger he poses. He's actively testing them.
At the same time, the Provisional Council is debating this massive move, taking Coruscant. A serious gamble, they call it.
A huge gamble.
And everyone expects Rogue Squadron to be right in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Heavy involvement.
You see, the Council's debate shows just how important Coruscant is. Taking back the old capital, that's massive. Symbolically, strategically, huge win for the New Republic. And the fact that they're leaning so heavily on Rogue Squadron, it says a lot about the squadron's reputation, their role in these make-or-break moments.
And then there's another player. The very shrewd Yzan Izard.
Director Izard, yes.
We learn how she manipulated her way up after St. Pistache fell. She's established herself as this formidable, ruthless opponent.
Yeah.
Director of Intelligence.
Izard's a different kind of threat than Zess, isn't she? He's military might. She's insidious. Hidden power, the old Imperial intelligence network still working. Her pulling strings behind the scenes just underlines the complex threats the New Republic is juggling while trying to get established.
It's this volatile mix that leads to planning that Kessel operation. Really risky stuff. 3 parts, aiming to liberate prisoners.
Yeah.
And even Wedge, seasoned as he is, feels uneasy about it, despite the council demanding it.
Akbar's hesitation about Kessel, it highlights the dangers, Dealing with criminals, things could go sideways fast.
For sure.
And Wedge's gut feeling, even though he'll do his duty, it's that leaders worry for his people. The mission's just unpredictable. And those 3 phases, flyby, commandos, security follow-up, show how carefully they have to plan something this tricky.
And amongst all this big picture stuff, the pilots have their own struggles. Corcoran's relationship with Arisi Laret.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
This is a tangled mess, isn't it? Intense connection, but also past abuse, resentment, and all the while he's kind of wishing he was back in his old, maybe simpler life in Coruscant.
That's so human, though, Corcoran's conflict. His longing for Coruscant is like a desire for clear lines, for order, which is the opposite of his life now, right?
Right.
And that painful history with Arisi just adds another layer, shows the personal cost of all this fighting.
Then you have Gavin Darklighter, seeing Coruscant for the first time, total awe.
Big contrast.
Huge contrast to growing up on Tatooine. Right?
Yeah.
And carrying the weight of his family's name, that legacy. His dad even sees that Darklighter look in him.
Gavin's reaction is a great perspective. His awe reminds you of the sheer scale of the galaxy they're fighting for, and that all these pilots come from such different places, but they're united. His roots on Tatooine, his family, that gives him grounding, purpose amidst all the chaos.
They also run into this bizarre holographic propaganda. Features a peaceful-looking emperor and a Darth Vader who is apparently deceived.
Yeah, wild stuff. It's the Empire, or what's left of it, trying hard to control the story, rewrite history.
Classic propaganda move.
Absolutely. It highlights that ongoing battle for hearts and minds for information. It's not just about ships and blasters. It's about who controls the narrative.
Corton's also dealing with this intense internal conflict, wanting personal revenge against Curtin Lore.
The man he blames for his father's death.
Exactly. Versus the absolute critical importance of the mission to take Coruscant.
That's a timeless struggle, isn't it? Personal vendetta versus duty, the greater good. Corrin's forced to ask himself what matters more. Question lots of people face in wartime.
And adding more intrigue, there's this encounter with Azir Salar. Her approach to Gavin is unsettling.
Definitely unsettling.
And Nawara Ven picks up on Gavin's relief when she leaves.
Yeah.
Ven's sharp.
Very sharp. Nawara's insight just hammers home how important it is to read people, pick up on cues, in a galaxy where deception can get you killed.
Yeah.
Azir's behavior, it just adds another layer of mystery. Hints at hidden players, maybe, with their own agendas in the middle of everything else.
But, amidst all this potential betrayal, there are these genuine moments of connection, too. Trust building.
Absolutely.
Like Wedge talking to Errol Num. She didn't get picked for EXO, and he's just straight with her about why. Very frank, practical leadership.
That's Wedge, isn't it? Direct, respectful. He tells her why, acknowledges she's a great pilot. That builds trust, keeps morale up. Good leadership right there.
And then there's that brief moment, but it's huge. Irisi unknowingly saves Corrin's life.
That by telling him Lore is on Coruscant, yeah.
Right. And this unexpected act, it creates this fleeting connection, a hint that maybe they could help each other down the line.
That's a big shift in their complicated dynamic. Despite everything, she helps him. It suggests maybe a deeper bond, or at least a temporary truce. Shows how unpredictable people can be, especially under pressure.
You also see the camaraderie in the squadron. Yeah. Like when Corrin welcomes a new pilot after seeing some seriously impressive flying.
That little moment says a lot about the squadron's culture, right?
Yeah.
Skill, dedication, that's what counts. Welcoming someone based on merit reinforces that shared purpose, that mutual respect.
And the way Ayala and Merax worry about Corrin, it shows these relationships existed before. That there's this close-knit support network within the Alliance beyond just the missions.
That's so important. Those personal connections, friendships, they help people get through long conflicts. It's the human element supporting the larger fight.
And then the totally unexpected discovery. Tycho Selchu hiding out under Coruscant.
Talk about extraordinary circumstances.
Right. It just emphasizes the crazy situations they find themselves in and how these shared experiences forge these incredibly strong bonds.
Tycho's survival skills there, his resilience, it shows the strength of individuals committed to the cause. And finding him again, even like that, it speaks to that enduring camaraderie, how alliances find ways to reform.
So yeah, this book really paints a picture of a galaxy where trust is everything. It's vital for the New Republic to even survive, but it's constantly being tested. External enemies, internal doubts.
And the characters are navigating this complex landscape, personal conflicts, huge strategic choices. It reminds you that even in space opera, it's the human relationships and choices driving the story.
Absolutely. For more insightful analysis, like we mentioned, and exploring these kinds of themes further, do check out Mindful Moments on our YouTube channel.
And explore other podcasts, too, for more in-depth discussions like this one.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. In a galaxy swirling with deception, constantly shifting loyalties, how do you actually decide who to trust?
And what are the consequences of those choices? For the individuals, yeah, but also for the fate of the entire galaxy.
If this exploration got you thinking, please subscribe to our podcast, WAS, for more discussions.
Yeah, and share this with others who appreciate digging into stories critically. Consider grabbing the book using the link in the show notes. It supports the author.
And most importantly, just keep thinking critically about the stories that shape how we see the world.